Hi lawyers! So who are the worst attorneys? Hi, my name is Sonrisa Lewis and I'm a freelance attorney with my firm Lewis Legal. I provide support to small firm attorneys such as litigation support, legal research, legal writing, and drafting. A friend and colleague, respected colleague, came up to me the other day and he said, "Hey, Sonrisa, why would I want to work with freelance attorneys? Aren't freelance attorneys like the worst attorneys?" And I started to ball up my fists, right? No, I didn't do that. I actually thought about his question, and this is a common misconception. My friend continued his question saying, in 2008, when the recession hit and the economy was doing poorly, a lot of lawyers were let go, and wasn't it this group of lawyers that went into freelancing? And I thought more about his question, and this is a common misconception that freelance attorneys are the worst attorneys, and the answer is twofold. For one, I'm sure a lot of you can relate that in 2008, when the economy was struggling, it wasn't always the worst attorneys that were getting let go. That wasn't always necessarily the case. There was a lot going on then. So that's the first part of the answer. The second part is I'm going to argue that your freelance attorney is better than your full-time salaried associate. And here's why. The freelance attorney has to be on point 100% of the time, can never afford to slip up. And I'll give you a real life example from my life, from my practice. I was hired by a family law attorney to do some research, and I was doing some research for one of her clients. And so I jumped into it enthusiastically, as I always do. And I found the perfect statute. I found great supporting case law. It was perfect. Was going to help our client out tremendously, and I wrote a beautiful memo and I included all of the law that I found, the original sources, in a nice packet for this attorney, and I was pretty proud of myself, pretty excited for her as well. The next day, I get an email from the attorney, and I discovered that although the law was beautiful and correct and the memo was on point, I had cited the key statute as 3.321 when the correct citation, as included in the paperwork that I provided her, was actually 3.312. Now this is a small mistake, right? It's something any of us could do, and I'm sure we've all done one thing like this. And all of us lawyers have done one thing like this at some point in our careers. However, I never heard from that. I never got any work from that lawyer again. So the point to my story is that a freelance attorney has to be on point, sharp, producing quality work at all times. I can never afford to slip up even once, even some small human thing like what just happened. And I learned that lesson the hard way. So you can bet things like that don't happen anymore. But that's my argument, that I never heard from this lawyer again. I never got work from her again because of that. And if I were a full-time associate, a salaried benefit associate, I wouldn't have gotten fired for that. I would still have my job. I would still be able to continue on. So that's my argument for why a freelance attorney really has to be on point 100% of the time. And if they're not going to get the work. So the attorneys that aren't good and aren't quality aren't going to last. You're not going to last long as a freelance attorney. So if you find one who is established and has been doing it for a while, chances are that they're pretty good. So that's my argument for why freelance attorneys are not the worst and in fact have to be pretty on the ball all the time. So if you want to talk more about this or even other topics regarding how to run your firm efficiently and save money and save time, then I recommend that you join my Facebook group. It's called Go Getting Attorneys. It's Go-Getting Attorneys, and I can't wait to catch up with you there. Thanks.